All right, guys. Good morning. Morning. Yes. So, online people, good morning as well. So, let's begin the session. Right. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, guys. So, uh, we will be starting the classes for May and November 25 attempt. Uh, Basically, the entire income tax, direct taxes, whatever it is, we'll be doing. You can see the screen. No problem. Okay, guys. So online people, I hope it's audible and you're able to see also the screen. If there's any issue, let me know. Okay. All right, guys. So let's begin. So direct taxes, there is generally a thing that it is very difficult and all those things. It's actually not. It is quite simple. So we will be doing it accordingly. Nothing to worry. So all of you have my two materials, right? So this is the first material and the second one is the international taxation that we'll see later. This will be our material, guys. So what we'll be doing is, I'll not call it any regular batch, exam oriented batch, fast track. Let's not call anything. Let's just do it and everything will be done. Okay, we'll do it as in depth as possible and also we'll be solving a lot of questions. And since Finance Act 24, there have been few amendments. So the Q&A also will reach you shortly. So don't worry, we'll be solving questions. Regarding this Q&A, the first one, introduction, I've already sent it to you. You can go through. So it is quite going to be very simple, nothing to worry. We will be completing everything as much as in depth as possible and also with the Q&A so that you will have that confidence to write the examination. So without further ado, everybody with me, online people? Yes. There are few more to come, I think. Anyway. Okay, guys. So let's begin. So first of all, we have to discuss the introduction and the tax rates. That is the most important thing, basics, after which we'll go to other areas. Probably we'll start off with PGBP, which everybody likes, and then move on to other areas. Let's see, 1 second. Yeah. And online people, please try interacting with me so that it will be, that's the reason why you have joined online live. Anyway, face-to-face people, I am here only, no tension. But online, please interact with me so that it will be easier for you also to grasp things. Now, I will not go into when did income tax come and all those things. There's no point. Nothing will come in the exam. Let's stick to whatever comes in the examination and then go in depth according to that. Right, guys. So, introduction and tax rates is what we know. So, every year, as you know, there is something called as the finance bill, which the finance minister will present. And that has to be, you have to take the assent of the President of India, after which it becomes the Finance Act. Now, in 2024, it's a peculiar year because it's an election year. In the election year, there will be two finance bills. One is called as the interim finance bill and then is the final finance bill, which will become the Finance Act. One before the election, and then if the same party wins the election, then after the election, they will do some changes and they will pass. So this time, obviously, in February, there was an interim budget which came, February 2024. And then the elections happened and afterwards the final budget was presented sometime in August, September and everything was finalized only by October 2024. Like final thing was coming in October 24. That's the reason why in the election year especially, classes will get delayed little bit, Q&A will get delayed little bit because there will be change only in the election year. Otherwise by June everything will be ready. So October 2024 was the time when everything came. So there have been some changes here and there. Now, little bit change, one or two changes you have to make in the notes also accordingly because between the finance bill which came in the first and the finance bill which came in the second, there were changes. And after the finance bill became a finance act, in between that also there were changes. There are quite a few changes for May 25, November 25. Some of them are drastic, some of them are small. Everything is given in the notes, nothing to worry. And wherever those slight differences are there, we will change in the notes only. Don't worry with me. Apart from that, everything is fully amended. So the material that you have is the fully amended material. You don't have to see any other material. This is more than sufficient. Come on. Yes. So that is what it is. Right? So without, you got the book, Abhilash? Okay. Come. So right. Online people, are you with me? You have to keep responding. Yes. You can sit anywhere you want. Your wish. Your wish. Okay. So let's further immediately go ahead, guys. Introduction and tax rate. So yes, in this, as I told you, finance bill becomes the Finance Act. Now, there are certain things quickly we'll go through, nothing, though we'll not go into the history of income tax, when it came, why it happened, all that is really not needed for the exam. Let's just stick to what is the exam oriented, how it is to be done. And of course, everything will be taught in depth, nothing to worry. Okay, so section 1 of the Income Tax Act clearly says that it extends to the whole of India. So that excluding Jammu and Kashmir, all that was never there for income tax. Here it will continue the same. So came into force on 1st day of April 1962, that is from assessment year 62 to 63 onwards. Anyway, so basically when we are doing the law, there are two things that we need to keep in mind. One is, I mean, this is anyway CA inter portions little bit, the assessment year, previous year portion, but let me just take you through because we are starting the beginning we are doing now, that's why. So, okay. So all this is really 2 minutes. I'll just quickly brief you about this. Ultimately, guys, what are the sources of law? So we have the legislature. You just need to understand the overview. So no need to write down anything. Don't worry. So for the exam, you just need to maintain one book if you want to. That is for running notes. Otherwise, my notes is sufficient. So what I have done is, rather than giving you some bulky stuff, this everything in pointers I have given. This is more than sufficient for the examination. So more bulky than it is problematic. So these two books is more than sufficient for the exam, which covers everything in pointers. So a lot of effort has gone into it. With color coding is there. So important points are given in, examples are given in green, important points are given in red, and of course the amendments are given in purple, and we'll see accordingly, the amendments have been given accordingly like that. Anyway, the sources of law. So one is the legislature. Basically the lawmaker is, makes the law through the parliament process, which you know. And then you have something called as judicial precedent. That is nothing but, which is something which has never happened before. That is called judicial precedent. Example would be the Nirbhaya rape case. When the Nirbhaya rape case happened, any person, until that law came, until that day, anybody who was 18 plus, only he could be tried as a criminal. Anybody less than 18 years is never a criminal. But then there, a 16-year-old person was the one who raped and murdered that lady. That's the reason why they changed the law. The judge interfered and said, now things really have to change. So the first time ever, the judiciary decided that things have to change. So that is called judicial precedent, because of which they made the change in law where they said anybody up to, 16, beyond 16 years also, that is 16 to 18, in a heinous crime, that person also can be tried as an adult. Even though he is not an adult, he can be tried as an adult, is what they said. That is called judicial precedent. Third one, very interestingly, source of law is our customs and tradition. So if I go to a temple, can I go to a temple with slippers on? No. And if that person, the priest will say, sir, please remove the slippers outside. Can I say, show me removal of chappal act? No. Right? So it's not in India. Each of us have different customs and tradition, and then becomes a law. So probably in your house, my dad used to tell that don't go to haircut on Tuesday. I used to ask him why. He said, no, that's a tradition. I said, why? Give me the logic. I mean, some will have logic, some will have no logic, some will have logic, but we would have forgotten, whatever it is. Ultimately, customs and tradition. Then they'll also, during every Ayudh Puja, they will keep those 2 lemon under the tire. So I asked that also. 2 lime juice we are wasting. So why are we using it? So the thing is very simple. There was a logic before, and we are continuing to use it now. So in India, customs and tradition, we will follow no questions asked approach. So don't cut your nails on Friday. So many things are there, right? It would have come for some reason back then. Now it may or may not be relevant, but still we follow. Customs and tradition are one of the most important things as a source of law, which has also actually created a lot of legal issues also. For example, the Sabrimala issue. Or should women be allowed in Sabrimala as per custom? No. But as per Indian constitution, yes, because everyone has the freedom to choose your own religion. Now, if there are 5 people in the room and if I throw this debate, each person will have his or her own view. That's the beauty of India. There's a lot of diversity, but we try to be united. So the source of law, customs and tradition is very, very important. But as far as Income Tax Act is concerned, we don't go to customs and tradition. Sir, we never pay tax, so we are continuing the custom of not paying tax. It won't work like that, right? So in income tax, it is strictly by the legislature. And of course, there are a lot of judicial precedents where they have clearly mentioned that no, this has to be like that, change the law retrospectively, etc. And Supreme Court has decided something. Nirmala Madam doesn't like it, she'll change the law only. All that we have seen. So whenever I use the word Nirmala Madam, it represents the government. It represents the more than the government, I would say the finance ministry. And a lot of finance ministers are there. Very good finance ministers have come. All that. Anyway, so Article 265 of the Indian Constitution clearly says that tax can be imposed only by a law. So what is that law? Article 245 and Article 123 is what we need to see. See, all these are not important for the exam, just for basics I'm telling. So Article 245 is granted, it says that the central government and state government will make the law. Whereas Article 123 will give something called as an ordinance. What do you mean by an ordinance? President during an emergency, he will pass something called as an ordinance. For example, during COVID, all of us were aramse going outside when actually we had to sit at home. So the police used to catch these fellows and said, no, whatever you're doing is wrong. Okay, sir, which law have I contravened? They said Disaster Management Act of 2005. When you open the Disaster Management Act, fine is of 100 rupees. So they used to pay 100 rupees and still go out. So now Parliament is not in session. What to do? I had to change the law. How to change the law? President passed something called as an ordinance. They made drastic changes to Disaster Management Act whereby they inserted imprisonment and all that. So anybody going outside, some 10,000 rupees fine and or imprisonment also if need be, worst case. So some 3 days imprisonment, 5 days imprisonment, and then everybody sat at home. Then they gave the chance of, lathi charge. You would have seen, no, everyone going outside and getting nicely belted. So all that used to happen. Because of the change in the Disaster Management Act, will Parliament function that time? No. So President will pass an ordinance. And that ordinance will be approved by the Parliament within 6 weeks when the Parliament comes into force. In the sense when they start working again, when the Parliament session opens. Anyway, so in direct tax also there have been few ordinances that have been passed, which later has become a law. Anyway, then Article 245 of the Indian Constitution, both central government and state government they can pass the legislation, no issues. Now, in that there is something called as Schedule number 7, where there are 3 types of lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. So union list is the list where the central government will pass the legislation. State list is the list where the state will pass the legislation. And concurrent list is both of them are passing the legislation after discussion with each other. Now, our income tax is clearly in article number 246, union list. It is there in entry number 82. It is there in entry number 82. So, tax on income, but not on agricultural income. So, where is income tax? Entry number 82. Anyway, again I repeat guys, all these things they'll never ask in MCQ, they'll never ask anywhere. But as CA students, we should know, as CA final students, we should definitely know at least where it is. Little bit, that's all. That's why I'm just going fast. When the topic comes, we'll go slow. These things are not relevant for the exam, but very much relevant for our life. Tomorrow, if I ask you who gives the power to, pass legislations, income tax legislation, union government. Where is it given? Given in the Constitution, Article 246, entry number 80. There are various entries. In that entry number 82, we have tax on income. Is the AC and all fine for you guys? Is it okay? Yeah. If it's cold or hot, let me know. So entry number 82, tax on income other than the agricultural income, right? Next, but agricultural income, can there be taxation on agricultural income? Yes. Tax on agricultural income is given in the state list. Entry number 46. So if at all in the future they want to tax agricultural income, who has the power? Karnataka government has the power. Tamil Nadu government has the power. Central government does not have the power. So agricultural income, as of now, it's not taxed. It's only aggregated, not taxed. What is aggregated? We'll see later. So it's not taxed. So basically, entry number 46 says so. So those of you who are attending my class who have never done income tax also, no problem. So we are doing it from the basics. So as I told you, that's why let's not make this batch into fast track batch, exam oriented batch, regular batch, nothing. It is basically a direct tax batch. Everything will be covered, and even if you have never touched the law, absolutely no problem. Okay, online people, please respond. Yes, even a thumbs up will do, don't worry. Yes, so if you see, yeah, these are the things. Agricultural income, state list, entry number 46. Anyway, right. So basically, the government has to collect the tax. The government has to collect the tax. That is the income for them. Of course, the highest income now is the GST. They are minting money with GST because it's indirect tax. Whereas direct tax also, how will they take money? One definitely is the concept of advance tax. So if you are earning for the entire year, uh, I need to pay advance tax at regular intervals. Second one is Nirmala madam doesn't believe that we will pay advance tax. So there is one more concept. Before that only she'll recover. How? Tax deducted at source, TDS. So TDS they will deduct. Advance tax is there. Then in case for certain items we are doing something more, she also deducts something called TCS, tax collected at source. So you have TDS, TCS and all these things. Advance tax 4 times a year will be collected. So this is the way government makes money in terms of taxes. Now coming to income tax, the direct tax code is coming, but that will be anyway the old wine in a new bottle. That's all. So if you understand the Income Tax Act properly, direct tax code will be very easy. And it's not called Direct Tax Act; it is Direct Tax Code. Code means it's codification of existing laws. Whatever existing laws are there, they'll change a little bit and bring out a code. We had something called as Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. It is not Insolvency and Bankruptcy Act. So wherever there are any, in all the laws, wherever there is something called as insolvency, they'll merge everything and make a separate law which will be taking care of all those aspects. Similarly, direct tax code also is taking care of all the lacuna which are there in other areas. So nothing to worry. Don't get scared that, oh, if that is coming, what will we do and all. Nothing. It's very easy. Basically, the same income tax, if you figure out, that is again the same wine in the new bottle. That's it. Anyway. So why I told you that was there little bit of heads of income, they're changing the name, some are removing, some they're changing the nomenclature, that's it. Apart from that, everything is the same. Anyway, so for our Income Tax Act, there are 5 heads of income. That only is our entire syllabus. Even though we study more in depth in inter, but in final, we'll have to touch base on everything. Except those first 2, they have removed from the syllabus. Salary and house property is no longer in the syllabus of CA final. So earlier they used to ask here and there. Now there are many things to ask anyway. So they'll not ask any question on salary, house property, etc. So, but anyway, it's there. Salary, sometime here and there, 1 or 2 marks may come. That's it. But very rarely salary and house property. But some concepts we have to borrow from there. No doubt about it. So first is what? Salary. Second one is what? House property. Third one, profit and gains of business or profession. PGBP. Fourth one, capital gains. Fifth one, income from other sources. In that, as far as Finance Act 24 is concerned, some drastic amendments have come in capital gains. Drastic in the sense, I mean, basically whatever you have studied till now, suddenly she has changed a little. All those things. PGBP and all is the same. Income from others, so here and there. Some cosmetic changes, but what I would consider as main change would be capital gains. So basically, for our May and November 25 examination, capital gains would be an important aspect because things have changed. And all these things, after you put together, what will come? You have your assessment procedure. Basically, the entire income will be assessed and then the assessment procedure will begin. And of course, there have been some important changes in assessment procedure also. So I'll break it down, nothing to worry. So we have PGBP, we have, the entire topics for CA final. Capital gain is there, income from other sources will be there. And then you have these smaller things. That is, though they are very small, they are very important, like taxation of other entities, like what? AOP, BOI, HUF, then business trust, political trust, all these things, charitable trust, all the political parties, all these things are small concepts, but important. Of course, charitable trust is a little big, but what I'm saying is these are all important areas, small areas, important areas. So those definitely questions will come. Assessment procedure questions will come. Then we have our TDS, TCS, advance tax. So there have been changes there. So that TDS, some rates, etc. and all have changed. So TDS, TCS income, that advance tax also will come. So these are the areas that I'm saying will be coming in the examination. Right. So yeah, of course, we need to study all those things. Nothing to worry. So salary, house property, PGBP, capital gain, income from other sources, all that. In TDS also there have been few changes, but those changes are only with respect to rates. So 5% has become 2% like that. Apart from that, nothing drastic to be honest. And they have added one section for TDS on partnership firms. That's it, partners salary. any partner's income. So anyway, barring that, major changes definitely are in capital gains, in assessment procedure, and some areas here and there. Now after that, we have around 30 marks are international taxation. Around 70 marks comes from direct taxation, 30 marks come from international taxation. So normal income tax is 70 and international tax is around 30. That is also very easy, nothing to worry. Here and there, minute changes, nothing drastic as such. Anyway, so online people, are you guys with me? All of you? Yes, you guys are with me? All good? Okay. Now coming to this main thing, guys. Online people, okay. Finance Act, as I told you, Finance Act 2024. Now again, we know this concept of assessment year and previous year, which you have studied in Inter, but let's quickly revise. Finance Act 2024 will always be applicable from which year? From 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025. So whenever Finance Act comes, as I told you, finally the Finance Act was finalized properly because it's an election year only in October 2024. August they passed legislation and all the changes etc. came. It became an act and finally got assent of the parliament etc. almost September, October 2024. So it is quite new, so to speak. Anyway, so Finance Act 24, what would be the year in consideration? 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025. So the return will be basically for what year? It will be for 1/4/24 to 31st March 25. The income that you are earning in this year will be assessed in which year? The next year, because income tax department will not assess it this year. You'll have to earn the income till 31st March. When will the assessment happen? Next year, 1st April 25 to 31st March 26. So ultimately 24-25 will be called as a previous year and 25-26 will be called as an assessment year. What is assessment year? The year in which the income will be assessed. So what is the year in which income will be assessed? 25-26. Correct? So our attempt, May 25, November 25, we have to do Finance Act 24, which is nothing but previous year 24-25, assessment year 25-26, assessment year 25-26. So that is applicable for our attempt. That is both May 25 as well as November 25. No other changes. Then here and there circular etc. will come, that keeps changing. Apart from that, nothing else. So 1/4/25 to 31st March 26, 25-26 assessment year, 24-25 previous year. This is what we should understand. Right? So assessment year, previous year. Which means what? All the income that I earn from 1st April 24 to 31st March 25 will be assessed in which year? 25-26. That is the year when you assess. Right? That's what. So these concepts, everything will go away very soon. That's why I'm stressing on it, because in direct tax code, they want to change all these things. They just want to keep it simple. Anyway, for our exam, 24-25 and then assessment year will 25-26. So your attempt year will be basically your assessment year. Very simple. You are obviously writing in 2025. That will be the assessment year, 25-26. Simple. Whereas the Finance Act year will be the previous year. Finance Act 24. So that will be your previous year, 24-25. Your attempt year will be your assessment year. Easy to remember. Generally, we will get confused with that also. That's why. So attempt year 25. So 25-26 will be my assessment year. Whereas Finance Act applicable is 24. That which will apply previous year 24-25. Right. Any section, if I have to read, for example, if it's like this 274 1GA, how do I read this in the Bare Act? 274 will be called section. This is called what? Subsection. And this G is called as a clause. And this A is called as a subclause. So it is subclause A of clause G of subsection 1 of section 274. 274 1GA, subclause A of clause G of subsection 1 of section 274. 274 1GA. Exception is what? So how will I call it? Section 274, subsection 1, clause G, subclause A. So this is always called as a subsection, which means in 274 there are many subsections. Exception to this is the definition section. Definition section is always in most laws given in section 2. You have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.4a, 2.4b like that. So there, since each of that is different, it's basically rather than writing 100 different sections, I will write 100 things in one section only. Each in a main, like section 274, this is not income tax act, randomly I'm telling, is in fact old companies law. So if there is a 274 section, that all the subsections will be covered within that section only, which means it addresses only one area. But in definition, it addresses many definitions. That is why if there is 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 like that, it is not called subsection, it is called clause. So the only exception is what, guys? For example, if something 231 is there, it is not section 2 subsection 31. It is section 2 clause 31 only for definition. Apart from that, it's always subsection. Online people, are you with me? Yes. Got it, guys? Yeah. Then many cases you would be seeing, for example, Nityananda, you know who is Nityananda? Yes. Nityananda versus Commissioner of Income Tax. 420 or 52. Like that you would have seen the numbers. It's called citation. Then KAR HC you would have seen. How do you read that? Basically, first name will always be the petitioner or the appellant or the aggrieved party. Whoever has put the case, basically. Person who has put the case is called as the petitioner. So his name will always be first. Right? So whenever you see any case law, see case law names here and there you should remember, but even if you can't remember, it's okay. But the facts of the case is what you need to always remember. So who is going to sue will be the first person always. So petitioner or plaintiff or appellant or aggrieved, these four people, all are the same, only four concepts. Versus CIT, Commissioner of Income Tax. Commissioner of Income Tax in this will always be the defendant. If the case were to be CIT versus Nityananda, then CIT is the appellant. Simple. So anybody can appeal. SSC can appeal or the department can appeal, as you know, right? So Nityananda versus CIT will be that. The other party will be called as the defendant. So who is be suing? Petitioner, plaintiff, appellant, aggrieved. Other party, defendant. Very simple. So Nityananda versus CIT. Then 420 or 52 and all is where it is recorded. Where will you find it? There will be something called, you would have seen AIR 47. That is called All India Report. In that book, you will find this. Correct? In the 420th volume, 52nd page number or 52nd case, like that's a reference. And then the last one is, where is it pending? Where is the case happening? KRHC is Karnataka High Court. It can be Supreme Court. It can be ITAT, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, or within bracket they will mention Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, whatever. That is where it is happening. If it is Appellate Tribunal, it will be ITAT, like that. So this is the citation, how to read the citation. Anyway, as I told you, there is no need for you to remember the names of the laws, of the decisions. But yeah, there are some decisions which are important, which you need to remember. So who is going to sue? Petitioner, plaintiff, appellant, aggrieved. Other party will always be the defendant. It's called as the defendant. The assessor of the income will be the income tax department, which is governed by what? CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, and ultimately that will be the final under which ministry? Ministry of Finance, headed by the finance minister in the cabinet of ministers. They are the assessors of income. So just like, you know, offerer, offeree, assessor of the income, the other person whose income is assessed is called SSC. There is no word in the English dictionary called SSC, shockingly. There is really no word. We have only made that word and now it has become actual word. There is no word called SSC only. But everybody uses it. Courts also use it. So we will also use it. SSC. SSC is the person whose income is assessed. Where is the income assessed? Which year? Assessment year. Which income will be assessed? Whatever he earned in the previous year. That's why it's called as a previous year. Right? Actually, previous year is nothing but financial year. So based on the budget year 24, so the financial year will be 24-25. So as I told, even though the Finance Act 24 was finalized in October 24, the provisions apply from which day? 1st April 24 only. Most of the provisions. Unless specifically she has mentioned it will apply from October. Many things apply from October also. That's why assessment procedure, many things are applicable till 30th September and different things are applicable from 1st October. That's why May 25, November 25 is an interesting attempt because we have to study the old also, new also. Honestly, that is the change. Right. So petitioner, plaintiff, appellant, agreed, other party is the defendant. Who is the assessor of income? Income Tax Department, Central Board of Direct Taxes, and Ministry of Finance. SSE, person whose income is assessed. Now the entire act is given in what? Income Tax Act 1961. Apart from that, rules are also there. What are rules? Rules are procedures given by CBDT. Is rule part of the law? 100% yes. Rules are part of the law. So Central Board of Direct Taxes will give you the procedure. So Income Tax Act, rules are given by CBDT. Sometimes there are additional notifications that the CBDT gives. Notification is an additional law given by Central Board of Direct Taxes. So notification is what? They will give certain clarifications. They'll give what accordingly what the law meant. They'll give what is applicable, what is not applicable. All that are issued by whom? CBDT. Notification, rules, then the law itself always should be published in an official document. An official document is called Official Gazette. You would have heard of the term gazetted officer. So everything should always be mentioned in the Official Gazette. Right? So notification is an additional law. Where is it mentioned? In the CBDT, it will be given in the Official Gazette. Only then it becomes a law. Circular. Circular on the other hand, it's just a guidance principle. And circular is always given by CBDT to its officers, not to the SSE. That's the interesting part. Generally, we think circular is for everybody. No, circular is only for, whether it is GST circular or income tax circular, is only for whom? Officers, yes. So officers have to read that and follow the law accordingly. It's like an internal document, but of course it's accessible to everybody. Why should I follow circular? Because assessing officer will follow the circular. That's why in order to not get caught or not get, basically they'll give some guiding principles. Like this is the meaning of this law is this part. So you should charge the SSC like this, like that. They'll give a circular. So when I see the circular, like, okay, this is what I should follow. So let me follow this. So it's easier to follow. So income tax, rules, notification, circular, all these are part of the law. Online people, yes or no? Yes. So notification, circular, rules, everything will be part of our exam. And everything is given in the notes. So my notes will have everything together. So these things are all the various basics. You can go through all these things. So if you see notifications, you see our notes, A1, clause we have given, income tax rules. Clauses can be independent of each other also. Like for example, the definition clause, subsection we know. Our notification is in red I have given subordinate legislation. Subordinate legislation. Subordinate means it is like a law itself, no change. Circular is a guideline. Then we have various legal decisions. They are called judicial pronouncements. Supreme Court, High Court, Tribunal, all those things. Proviso. So in the law, you would have seen act, and in that you have something called as provided that, provided further that, proviso. Proviso basically adds on to the subsection or it provides an exception. So whenever I say provided, proviso, it gives an exception also. Right? So DT batch has begun today, provided that it can be what? When I say DT face-to-face batch has begun today, what is an addition? Addition is, it is going to be some 5 extra sessions are added, provided that 5 extra sessions are also added, which the students have to attend. That's an addition. DT face-to-face batch has started, provided that online live also is available. That's an exception. Because I am saying in the main provision face-to-face batch. So that is what it is. Or DT batch has started, provided that it is online, provided that it is face-to-face. These are all additions to the main point. So everything is covered here. Proviso can be an addition or proviso can be an exception. And I have explanation. There are certain things where they give an explanation. An explanation is added to the section for the purpose of explaining the main provision. That's all. An explanation is always gives more pointers to the main provision, nothing else. An explanation will explain, clarify, or include something by introducing a legal fiction. That is proviso, explanation. And what is an ordinance? When both houses of parliament are not in session, as I told you, President of India will pass the ordinance. It will be whenever the parliament session comes, within 6 weeks, you have to 5 to 6 weeks, you have to pass it. Otherwise, the ordinance will lapse. Then one more ordinance will pass like that. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, almost 5 ordinances were passed. It was not taken up by the parliament only. So it expired, one more ordinance, it expired, one more ordinance, like that it happened. Anyway, now coming to the Finance Act, rates of tax are always, the first schedule of the Finance Act always contains the following. One is rates of tax applicable to the current assessment year. For us, what is the current assessment year, guys? 25-26. Rates of tax at which tax is to be deducted at source for the current financial year. TDS. Rates of tax for salary and rates of tax for advance tax will be given, and also for the agricultural income it will be given. So apart from that, as I told you, definition is section 2. Sometimes the law uses the word means. Correct? I am reading page number A2, general notes. It uses the word means. You have got the material? Why? Okay. Let me ask. You can use this man, take it. Take that. Because that's important. You have got, no? Okay. So it. This also you keep. So give it. That's the second. Right. Right. So first one. When the definition uses the word means. Online people, all of you got the material, right? Right. So when a definition uses the word means, online people, come on, respond. Thumbs up is also okay, no tension. Right. Okay. So here, when a definition uses the word means, definition itself is self-explanatory. For example, they'll say agricultural income means, assessment year means, capital asset means. It means what? No other meaning can be given. No other meaning. It is what it is. Exhaustive definition they call it. Restrictive as well as exhaustive. No other meaning can ever be given. It's very, very clear. Restrictive and exhaustive. On the other hand, if I use the word includes, that is used to what? Widen the scope of the term of expression. So if I say income includes, then they'll give everything else. Income includes so many things like that. Person includes. Whenever I tell you who's a person, you will probably think, okay, maybe an individual. But they have increased the scope by saying person includes many things. Is God a person? Tirupati Devasthanam, is it a person? We need to see that. So one is what? Inclusive. One is exhaustive. Whenever you use the word means, yes. So most of the case laws are decided in these terms only. Means, includes, etc. Right? Yes. So the definition of the term income, person, transfer, charitable purpose, all that is inclusive definition because they are clearly mentioned something includes. Sometimes they'll give means and includes also. So in this case, some things are clarified, some things are inclusive. For example, SSE. SSE means so and so, includes so and so. Both they have given there. We'll see all that. So of course, one more important thing that we need to see is the amendments. Amendments of Finance Act 24, that amendments are also important. Now let's come to section number 4. I'll just quickly take you through the section. Wherever necessary, we'll be consulting the Bare Act also, guys, because as CA students, we should know how to read the Bare Act. Otherwise, it's actually shameful, to be honest. So we need to read the Bare Act. So it's very easy. Once you figure out how to read the Bare Act, the thing will be very, very simple. So let's see. Chapter number, it's the section, the income tax is divided into various chapters, right? So, and each chapter will have certain sections. Anyway, coming to this. Basis of charge. This is the charging section. I am charging income tax on what? Should be on income, no? You see, where any central act enacts that income tax shall be charged for any assessment. We have already seen. Constitution of India tells that only the center should pass a legislation to charge tax on income other than agricultural income. Here also they are telling where any central act. Which act? Already this act says no, Income Tax Act. Shall be charged for any assessment here at any rate or rates. It's given in the Finance Act again. Income tax at that rate shall be charged for that year in accordance with all this. You see, in respect of total income of previous year of every person. Total income of the previous year of every person. So we need to understand total income. We need to understand person. That's all. That's what they're saying. It says it will be charged on what? The total income of the previous year of every person. There you go. Section 4, tax on income. There should be first of all tax. Then there should be something called total income. Third one, person. Right? I'll give you time to copy this. I'll first explain quickly. Person is defined in 2 clause 31. We need to see. Person means an SSE. Total income is defined in 2 clause 45. So in the book that you are maintaining, any book guys, I don't care, ruled, unruled, 100, 200 pages, whatever you maintain, all these charts you can write down. Lot of charts you'll be writing. I believe chartered accountant means chart we should know, no? Should know first 5 letters of chartered accountant, otherwise what's the point? So you should learn to draw charts. And charts will make things very simple, to be honest. So coolly we'll draw charts. I'll give you time, don't worry. And wherever there's no time, I'll ask you to take the picture. And online people can take the picture of the screen. I'll make it full screen. But yeah, predominantly let's try to write down as much as possible. And it's quick, some 2 minutes I can finish. So person, I'll just explain, then I'll give you time. 2 minutes, you can copy. So person means SSE. Who is an SSE? We'll see. 2 clause 31, I have to read for that. Guys, no need to remember section numbers. Again, let me tell you, it's vast. We cannot sit and remember everything. But during the course of the discussion, we will be repeating certain things and automatically you will remember all the main sections. No need to remember any section number in income tax law. Even though it is advised to do so, but I believe that you cannot sit and only study the section numbers. Provision only, I don't know section number. If I know, what's the point? On the other hand, if you know the provision, section number also, if you don't know, it's okay. You know the section number, right? Otherwise, absolutely no problem. So let's not go behind the obsession of reading or remembering section numbers. Okay, you will lose 4 marks. It is better than losing 20 marks. Because provision, if you write wrong, 20 gone. But section number, if you don't write, okay, 3-4 marks may go. Okay, let it go. That's better than losing 20 marks in the provisions. So please don't be fixated on the section number, not important. But concept, yes. Anyway, person is defined in 2 clause 31. Total income is defined in 2 clause 45, which says income as computed as per section 5. Now, income is a vast definition. If I have some money which is got by murdering somebody, supari killing, is that also income? Yes, that's why income is an inclusive definition. Nirmala madam doesn't differentiate. She wants to be a partner everywhere. She doesn't differentiate at all. You made some illegal money, income. You made some black money of hiding your income, yes, income. That's why income is an inclusive definition. Anyway, income as computed under section 5, which means computation of that income is given under section 5. That's all is needed. Let's not even go there. Tax. If you see here, they have given in section 4, just if I quickly go glance through it, at any rate or rates, it will be charged according to that rate and all they have given. Now the thing is, there are two types of rates in income tax. One, they say rates in force. One more, they say rates as per the act. What's the difference? Rate as per the act means it is already given in the Income Tax Act. For example, TDS on professional service 194J. The act only has the rate. How much? 2% and 10%. But there are other sections where the lawmaker uses the word rates in force. It never says any rate, percentage only they will not give. They will say TDS will be charged at the rate in force. That's it. For example, 194D. Rate in force means what? It's in the Finance Act, they'll give, which means every year Nirmala Madam can change those rates without bringing out an actual amendment in the law. I don't want to change the 194J. In 194D also I don't want to change. I'll only change the rates. In that first schedule, every year she may change the rates. So in 24, what she has done, she has changed the rate somewhere. 5% has become 2%, like that. Very few changes. So those are the amendments with respect to TDS. TDS rates, she has predominantly changed the rates in force. So rates in force can keep on changing every year. So rates in force means what? Given in the Finance Act. Rates as per the Act means Act only gives you the rates. Like 194J, if you go, it will clearly say 2%, 10%. But 194D, if you go, there's one dialogue. Let me show you. That dialogue says what? Rates in force, which means what? The moment I see rates in force, automatically I have to go to the first schedule. Schedule will give all the formats, rates, everything. I'll just show you 194D just to show you that dialogue. Now, Nirmala Madam need not amend 194D. Nirmala Madam will just update first schedule. See here? Deduct income tax at the rate in force. Right. So I use this Taxman subscription. They also changed it some 1 week ago, or some maybe October, and not even 1 week. Slightly before, but yeah, they changed it sometime in November. Until then, they were showing Finance Act 23 only, because so many changes are there. Even a website like Taxman took so long to change. So anyway, everything, notes are updated, guys. You have nothing to worry. So deduct income tax thereon at the rates in force. Understood? So we need to understand what do you mean by a person. So you can quickly copy this. 2 minutes, copy it out. Online people, I'll make it full screen. Did you understand, online people? Okay, Karthik will be receiving material today. Okay. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, they have updated. They have tied up with Taxman only. You can use that. No problem. I do some other research and all. That's why I've got the plan. We have a lot of assessment procedure cases going on. So, and now they have updated everything. That also took time, but they have updated everything. The act will come, but then other rules, etc., will take some time. But now it's updated. That Income Tax India website is good enough. For normal official website you go, you have the act there. Done, guys? Online people? Okay, next. Moving on, person. All these are important definitions. Now, person. Person is given, if you see 2 clause 7 SSC, SSC is a person, obviously. I'll just tell you quickly and then you can write down. So guys, who can be charged to tax? Everybody. That's why they have given an inclusive definition. If you see 2 clause 31, it starts with an inclusive definition. Basically, Nirmala madam wants to tax everybody under the sun. Nobody will be above the law. There includes. This explanation is there to explain certain things. So here there individual, HF, firm, company, AOP, BOI, local authority and artificial juridical person. Everybody is covered. Individual, HUF, Hindu undivided family. You have two things there. That is the Mitakshara School of Hindu Law, which is in the rest of India. Then the Dayabaga School of Law, which is in West Bengal. Then we have firm. That is LLP and partnership firm. Company. We have Indian company, foreign company, domestic company. You'll see the difference. Then you have AOP, BOI, Association of Person, Body of Individuals. So association of person generally voluntarily will come together for some business. Body of individuals need not be voluntary. For example, father is there, father dies. He was having a firm, or he was having his own sole proprietorship firm, he dies and gives his business to 3 children. Now 3 children may not want to continue the business. If they want to continue, they will have to come together. Otherwise, they may not want to continue. Now all the 3 will be called as body of individuals. But if they now wish to continue, they can form either an AOP or partnership firm, whatever it is. On the other hand, any joint venture will be an association of persons. Persons mean these fellows only. So Tata and Starbucks came together to start Starbucks India. That's an AOP. But ultimately, it's registered as it's a joint venture. They would have floated a different company for that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's an AOP. It will be company also is an AOP, but registered as a company, that's all. So AOP is the beginning thing. Everything will be called as an AOP if the intention is to there to combine like that and do some business. So that's why your apartments association, if they are there to conduct what? Some activities including hiring or renting out their space that they have in the apartments, all that. They have a apartment association. Now how that association is registered depends. It can be registered as a society under the Cooperative Societies Act, can be registered under the Karnataka Apartment Owners Association Act, KAOA they say. So ultimately that is different. It can be registered as a trust also. Those things are different, but ultimately it's an AOP. BOI, there is no intention to come together to do business. It happens by law. For example, by transmission. The father bequeaths the property to the children, those things. So that's the difference. So there is taxation of AOP, BOI, taxation of company, taxation of firm. Corporate taxation anyway is happening. Apart from that, we have to understand taxation of individual, firm, company, local authority. Everybody is there. Then local authority like our BBMP, Bangalore Municipal Corporation, that one municipality, that is also their taxation. Then Nirmala madam doesn't leave God also. Artificial juridical person. Will I tax a temple? Yes. I mean, whether they'll pay tax or not is secondary because they'll register it as a trust, charitable trust. But is it taxable? Yes. Tomorrow, now as of now it's exempt. Tomorrow they may change the law saying that no exemption at all to any temple, charitable trust, not allowed. They may change, but as of today there is an exemption. But That doesn't take away the taxability. Tomorrow I can charge tax if I want to. So artificial juridical person, temple and university, for example. So this is all, everything is covered. There is nobody who is not covered. So SSC is a person, but also includes other people. I told you, SSC is a definition where they have said means and includes. SSC means a person, means these fellows, because person includes these fellows. And SSC also includes other people. This is the age of Instagram, etc. There is a small baby which has got 1 million subscribers because that baby is cute. Baby does lot of ads. Baby will earn income. Will the baby pay tax in its own hands? No. It has to be represented by somebody else. That will be a representative SSC. SSC will also include what? Representative SSC. Right? So there are certain things where not just the SSC but representative SSC also should be taken into consideration. Right? Individual, HF, firm, company, AOP, BOI, local authority, artificial juridical person, all those things. Understood, friends? Online people, yes or no? Thumbs up. So quickly copy this down. These are all important areas. Copy. This much is enough, guys, to understand quickly. Online people, yes. All right. So you also will get total income questions. You see, you will get the total income questions as well, where everything has to be followed. So basically, income, salary of property they'll not give, but yeah, income from business profession, capital gains, other sources. You'll have to write the working notes accordingly. You'll get the gross total income, less deductions under Chapter 6A, then total income, net taxable income. All these things you'll have to write anyway. Right. Apart from that, guys, if you see, coming to the definition, so we're doing this. Coming to A2, that is India. What do you mean by India? So India means the territory of India as referred to in the Indian Constitution, the entire territory of India, which of course again there is a fight in the northernmost part with respect to what is India in Jammu and Kashmir. You have the LOC, you have the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, but nevertheless, as per our constitution, that is India only, and which obviously is India, which has been occupied by Pakistan. But if you go to Pakistan, they have written that portion, this portion as IOK, Indian occupied Kashmir. Imagine the audacity. But yeah, anyway, that's how it is. So India means the territory of India as referred to in the Indian constitution. It's territorial waters. So when you go to Goa and do water sports, you can't say that is not India. So that money earned will be taxable in India only because up to 12 nautical miles, it is called India. So basically, it is 12 nautical miles. 12 nautical miles, it is India. And up to 200 nautical miles, it is called as an exclusive economic zone. Up to 12 nautical miles, it is India. Up to 200 nautical miles, it is called exclusive economic zone, very much part of the country. And after that, no, only then international waters will begin. So you have 12 nautical miles, then you have 200 nautical miles, and then international waters. That is called as what? The 200 nautical miles, which includes 12, that is called as an exclusive economic zone. Is it part of India? Yes. And after that only international waters will come. Now in international waters, what taxation will come? India will pay or they will pay. That's why you have all these tax treaties, arrangements, agreements. We'll have to see that later. Anyway, so section 11 to 17 is salary. House property is 22 to 27, which is irrelevant for us so much. PGBP, 28 is the charging section. It will go up to 44 dB. PGBP is a huge chapter. Capital gains is not so huge, but anyway, it's important. But of course, there are so many things in capital gains. Income from other sources, 56 to 59. Might be just 3-4 sections, but many things are there in that. Then clubbing, little bit of clubbing also we need to study, 60 to 65 clubbing of income. Then deductions under chapter 6A. Deductions predominantly they were giving in inter, in final, that's not so important, but of course we need to see everything. Set off and carry forward, that is section 70 to 78. Exemptions are given in section 10. Apart from that, we have everything else. We have some special taxation called tonnage taxation. Then we have, of course, income from, the taxation of other entities. All that will be there for us, no problem. Anyway, now coming to the tax rate. So this is one part, guys. India, SSC already we have discussed. As I said, SSC, according to that, is a person to whom any tax or any other sum of money is payable under the Act. What do you mean by the sum of money? We are reading page number A2. This will be any fee, interest, penalty, surcharge. That's why they have used the word any other sum of money. Tax means what? Income tax. But you have other things, no? Fee, interest, penalty. Those things will come under any other sum of money. So basically, SSC is a person by whom any tax or any other sum of money is payable under the Act. And it includes. So I will reopen the proceedings. I have understood that you have made some extra income. I want to reopen the proceedings against you. I have initiated proceedings of assessment procedure against you to reopen your books. Your previous assessment, which is already completed, I want to reopen. Yes, all that is possible. So every person in respect of whom any proceeding has been initiated under the Act for the assessment of his income is also called as SSC. SSC does not mean only for this assessment year. That's what I am trying to tell. You can be an SSC this year for 4 years ago also, is what they are trying to tell. Or any other person in respect of which he is assessable. Any other person, small baby, individual. Nowhere it says individual should be 20 years, 18 years. No, it says individual. So on behalf of baby, which is earning a lot of money, who is taxable? You, parents. That's what, in respect of any other person, baby, in respect of which he, that is the parent, is assessable. No, let's say I will pay Abhilash 1 lakh rupees, but I will have to deduct TDS. 10,000 I will deduct, 90k I will pay him. I have deducted tax on behalf of Abhilash. That tax of 10,000 I need to remit to the government. I don't remit. What do you think? I'm just handling one case where that fellow has deducted 20 crore but not paid to the government. So what do you think? The beauty is, this is Abhilash's income or my income? Abhilash's income. He is the SSC actually. I am not the SSC. His income, Nirmala madam says, if he takes the income, then he has to declare it in his return. I cannot wait for so long. You deduct tax and give me. So that you know concept. I'll deduct 10,000 and give Abhilash 90,000. He will show 1 lakh in his income. And then he will say, PJ has already paid 10,000 on my behalf. He'll charge tax on 1 lakh, produce a tax liability of, let's say, 20,000. That's an assumption. And there he will say, out of 20,000, 10,000 this fellow has already deducted. So remaining 10,000 I will pay tax, no problem. Now the beauty is, he has to pay tax. I don't have to pay tax, but according to law, I have to deduct and pay tax to the government. I have not done that. Am I an SSE in default? No. Ideally speaking, Abhilash is SSE in default. But Abhilash will go and tell, what is my problem? If I had got 1 lakh, I would have paid properly. I thought this fellow PJ has already paid on my behalf, but I have not paid. So in this case, first of all, even though it is not my liability, it is Abhilash's liability, I have to deduct and pay tax as if Abhilash is paying. In the first instance, when I am deducting and remitting to government, I am deemed to be an SSE. PJ is deemed to be an SSE. Actually, SSE is Abhilash. But who is deemed to be an SSE? Me. It's like Abhilash is paying that 10,000 rupees through me. If I have to deduct and pay. Let's say I have deducted but not paid. Next one. I am deemed to be an SSE in default. Actually, the person who is in default is Abhilash, not me. But law says he didn't make any mistake. He was ready to pay. He has decently paid the remaining amount. Assuming that you have already paid. No, you have not paid. So who is the SSE in default? Me. So at the time of deduction of tax and remitting, I am an SSE. But at the time of deduction of tax and remitting to government, and if I have not done it, I will be SSE in default. Deemed to be SSE in default. Online people, are you with me? Any doubts? I will be deemed to be SSE in default. Any doubts, guys? Got it? So one is what? Where proceeding has been initiated. Second, deemed to be an SSE. Third one, deemed to be SSE in default. Swaminathan, Rahul, Karthik, tell me, then who are there? Many people are there. Sri Madan. Let me know, guys, please. Okay. So, deemed to be SSE in default. Understood? Yeah. So, person we have seen everything. Every SSE is definitely a person, but every person need not be assessed to tax. Because for them, for example, charitable trust is a person, but not assessed to tax as of today. Tomorrow they can change it. No, individual will be all these people, no problem. Will individual include a child? Yes, minor. Will individual include a mental guy? Yes, person of unsound. They'll all be represented by somebody else. Will SSE will include a deceased person? Yes. SSE assessment would be made on what? On a legal rep. AOPBOI, when we further discuss the taxation, we will see. AOP means two or more persons joining for a common purpose or a common action, not as a partnership or LLP. An object to produce income or profits. I told you they'll come together to do it. BOI, it's predominantly status of persons like executors or trustees who receive the income jointly. So as I told you, the father died and gave the property to 3 children. They are not continuing it as a business. Now they will be a body of individuals. Now in individual, as the name suggests, they should only be individual. But in AOP, you can have individual company, company partnership firm, 2 companies, because it's an association of persons, not association of individuals. Whereas in BOI, it has to be only individuals. That's the difference. And in AOP, there has to be some purpose, that is profit oriented. Whereas in BOI, need not be so. AOP, BOI. So this separate taxation, there's a separate chapter in our material. You can check taxation of AOP, BOI. We'll do it later. Everything I've given as sub-chapters, make it very easy. And I didn't want to make it too bulky because seeing the textbook only, people will run away. Income tax, that's the problem. So I wanted to make it that is good enough size. That is actually small size only, whatever book we have made. But yeah, everything is covered there. So please study that, no problem. And of course, Q&A book will come. Q&A is taking time because of the crazy changes. So whatever is ready, at least I'll give you so that other things I can give later. This is the first time it is happening, obviously because of election year. Too many changes. Because I don't want to give you some wrong stuff and then again you correct it. So that basically we're trying to change all the answers according to the new syllabus. And in capital gain, some are till 1st October. After that, after 1st October, it's very annoying. So it is taking time. But don't worry, we will give it to you. And problems also we will be solving in class. That is very, very important. Just theory, no point. Or just problems, no point. It should be a mix of both. Right. So that is what it is. AOP, BOI, any person can be a member in AOP, but only individuals will be a member in BOI. There's a common will and desire in the members to when they do the AOP, whereas in BOI, common will and desire will be lacking. As I told you, father will property will go to the children like that. Local authority, you have all this municipality, district board, etc. HUF, again, let's not go too much in depth into it, but as I told you, there are 2 types of Akshara school and Dabaga. You can go through the concept later. Nothing as such important as such. But can females be members? Yes. Can they be co-parceners? Yes. Earlier and all it was not allowed. Now they can be members also. They can partake in property, not just during partition, but every time they can be co-parceners. Can a female member be a karta? In 2015, there was a case law, Supreme Court, where they have now, it is possible that even a female member can be a karta. Imagine, deadly. So yes, the entire concept of male dominated society is gone. But the logic of this Hindu law is dating back to hundreds of years ago, when there was a clear-cut thing. The man should bring the bread to the home, and the woman of the house should be the head of the house. He should look after the home. That was how it was. That's why they said all business will be handled only by men. Now things have drastically changed for the better. So now you cannot go by the same customs and traditions, so to speak. Things have changed. So that's why in 2015 there was a case where there is this. There was no male member only left. Only female members were there. So can that person become karta? Yes. 100% yes. HUF status is abolished in the state of Kerala, and they want to abolish it elsewhere also because they are using it as a tax planning tool or other tax evasion tool, not planning. So then, but the thing is, because of the religion involved here, then again the dynamics, they are not doing it. Only in Kerala they have abolished. They want to abolish the entire concept of HUF only from income tax in a long time. Anyway, firm LLP, yes, firm shall have the meaning aside in the Indian Partnership Act. LLP is defined in the Limited Liability Partnership Act. Artificial juridical person is not a person. Company we'll see later, guys. It's an Indian company or a company incorporated outside India is also called a company, which means foreign companies also are bound by taxation laws in India, provided they have a permanent establishment in India. Indian company, foreign company. So Indian company is always a domestic company. Whenever I use the word domestic company, it means what? Indian company. Foreign company, it is not a domestic company. Indian company is formed and registered under which act? Companies Act 2013 or any previous law. Whereas foreign company is a company incorporated outside India, but it has a permanent establishment in India. That's why it is earning money in India, for which I need to give them money. I mean, they have to pay tax. I will discuss this in a while. Come to this A5 here. Previous year assessment year already discussed. One question is, if I incorporate my company in, let's say, December 2024, what will be my previous year? 24, 25 only. From that December to 31st March. So if you see, newly set up or source of income, newly coming into existence, it will be beginning with the date of setting up of the business or the date on which new source comes into existence and ends where? 31st March of the said financial year. Person commences practice as a CA on 1/1/2022. The previous year shall be what? 1/1/2022 to 31st March 22. Right. My one more question is, company is incorporated on 1/1/22. Company is incorporated on 1/1/22. What is the previous year? Or let me say 1/1/24. Company. What would be the previous year? 23-24? No, the previous year, from where does it begin? Same, 1/1/24 to 31st March 24. What is the financial year for this company? 23-24. I'm not asking previous year. What is the financial year? What is the financial year for this company? I'm not asking previous. Previous year is income tax concept. What is the financial year? 23-24? No. As per companies law, if it is incorporated in that year, the financial year will be 1/1/24 to 31st March 25. Yeah. It cannot be 31st March 24. It is 31st March 25. Yes. Anything after Jan 1st will be taken in the next year. So what I'm trying to tell is, if they give you something called financial year and all in the income tax paper, don't get confused. That's what I want to tell. They may say a company got incorporated on 1/1/24 whose financial year is 24-25, they'll say. You will get confused. So then we will get confused with financial year, then assessment year, previous year, everything confusion. Financial year is different from assessment year. Right? I am only bringing law because they can ask this in the exam with respect to, just to confuse you, that nothing else. So in company law, financial year definition, anything after January, the 3 months will not be called as financial year, it will be added to the next year. So the financial year for 1/1/24 actually would be 31st March 25. But that does not change income tax. Income tax is 31st March 24 only. You have to file the return, everything should happen. But company law related stuff, filing of annual accounts, conducting of AGM, all that will happen next year. That's what I wanted to tell you. So kindly do not get confused. Perfect. Good. Srimadan, Srividya, you're 100% right. Yes. Should not get confused with what? Financial year and previous year. So our concept in income tax is only assessment year and previous year. We'll never see anything called financial year. So let's not get confused. Right. So there will be breaks. Don't worry. We will give you sufficient breaks also, because breaks are needed. Continuously we cannot sit. We will give adequate breaks. Couple of days we'll take it easy. We'll leave it early. Then we'll have to take it till 4:30. And then whenever I have other classes, then we have already given you morning 2 to 3 hours. We'll finish 3 hours a day in the morning. Is it possible if we start at 7? I'm asking you. Online people, is it possible, guys? I told 8:30 to 10:30. Instead of that 7 to 10:30 means we'll get some 3.5 hours with some short break. Is it possible? Let me know. So that, okay, cool. Great, man. Nice. Then we will start. Not now. Let 2-3 days get over. Once you get adjusted, instead of taking 2 hours, we can take 3 hours. And for you, it's anyway better to come in the morning in the Bangalore traffic. Cool. No problem. And I'll be giving you one view extra for you guys. I'll give it to you guys also, because you're coming face to face. Later, if you want revision, you can take it up. So you guys already will have one view backup in case you cannot come. Try coming, guys. One day if you miss, it's going to be a problem. So kindly try coming regularly. But for revision, I'll give you extra. One more. Later, you can use it. Yeah, no problem. That is for you only. Don't give it to others. It's for you. Because once you study this everything, by the time exam comes, you'll be needing some revision of some topic. So open that video, fast forward and watch it, that portion only. So entire backup will be there. Okay. But as much as possible, 99.99% you should come regularly. That is most important, because once that there's a break means it's a problem in the next class. So kindly ensure that you attend regularly. Online live also very it's the best, because there is a lot of interaction. That's the thing. Apart from that, yes, don't worry. So someone was asking, will you give 40% backup, 50%? I don't understand that concept. What is 50% backup? I don't know. I said, I told the office 100% backup. There is no 50% backup, 60% backup, nothing. One full class you can watch it again, because that's the benefit I should give you guys, because you guys are spending that time. So that's the benefit that you guys, anyway, Google Drive fellows will get whatever those views and whatever that is, that anyway they'll get. But since you're attending online live and face to face, extra benefit, little bit extra, that's all. So please attend without fail, guys. That is most important, attending the classes on time and without fail. Cool. So moving on. Yeah. 12 months, yes, 12 months will commence on the first day of the April and goes to the next day. You have seen this. Now, we already know that previous year assessment year, it is different. They will, previous year is the year of the Finance Act, whereas assessment year is the year when the income is assessed. Your examination year will be assessment year. We have seen that already. No, that's not the doubt. Doubt is, can there be a scenario where the previous year itself will be assessment year? There are certain peculiar circumstances. They will not give this in the exam directly as a theory. There will be no theory questions, to be honest. Maybe one or two, but predominantly everything is application based. But there are certain cases where your previous year will be deemed to be your assessment year. Means in that year you will be earning income. That year only you have to pay tax. Peculiar. Let's see those cases. Come to this A5. Everything is in the notes. We'll go by the notes only. Nothing to worry. And where I'll go, don't go by the notes, I'll make you draw charts, then you study at home. So that day's class, try to finish that day only. You guys are on exam leave? Almost. Deemed. You are working, no? I remember, yes. But yeah, you'll manage. What about you guys, online people? Are you on leave or you're just managing the class somehow? Okay. Fine. So if you have written before, etc., don't care about it. I also don't care. You also shouldn't care. It happens. Just because we write again and again doesn't mean we are dumb. It means, we do not have the luck, or we are probably not presenting the answers properly, or a mixture of everything. No problem. So, okay, you guys are on leave, most of you. Great. So basically, do not worry, guys. Do not think of the past attempts at all. If you have written, I don't want to ask you also. That's who cares? Nobody cares. Actually, nobody cares. The only thing they ask is, are you a CA or not? That's it. Nobody cares how many times you have written, what you have done. No one cares about it. Till today, nobody has asked me number of attempts, nothing. It doesn't matter, honestly speaking. Nowadays, it really doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you should become CA. That's all. So, if you have not cleared in the past, do not worry. This is a fresh attempt. and we'll study it the right way. Maybe you are not studying it properly, and maybe too many shortcuts were used, and all that shortcut and all will not be applicable anymore. You are seeing the question paper attempt by attempt, it's getting trickier. Actually, it's easy only, but it becomes tricky because we don't study it accordingly. So, summary book, chart book, all that is useless. We have to study the correct way and then make our own charts and study from that. So, people were asking, sir, why don't you make chart book, summary book? My textbook only is like a summary book. It is so much in depth, it's good enough. You cannot have anything lesser than that. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, I told you one thing. In that year only, they are making previous year assessment year same. Means the income is assessed in the same year, which is that year. You see here, special cases where income is taxed in the same year. They're in page number A5. I still haven't done this average rate of tax. We'll come to that later. Yeah. So guys, shipping business of a non-resident. First of all, you are a non-resident. You are from USA. You have come, you have loaded lot of goods. Many people also have come. You have come to the port in Mumbai and you have dumped that goods, etc. Obviously, you will be getting freight charges. That is your income. So you are going back. You have dumped everything. You have made your money because they will be transferring to you directly. Now you are going back. When you are going back, Nirmala madam is waiting there. You should visualize. So Nirmala madam will ask, what about the tax? Ma'am, this is previous year. I'm in December 24. I'll pay next year. No, assessment will be next year. So 24, 20, 25, 20, 26 I will pay. So now we are 24. So 31st March 25, this thing will get over. Financial year 25, 26 I will pay. That's the year you will assess. Why are you coming now only to assess? She says, okay, I will assess next year. Do you have a office in India? No. Do you have an agent in India? No. Do you have any other business in India? No. Which means there is nothing here. No. Which means if you leave now, gone. Yes. But you are saying mother promise I'll pay, father promise I'll pay. No. So if you do not have a permanent establishment in India, Nirmala madam will take tax then and there and then only ask you to leave. Makes sense? That is 172. Where a ship belonging to a non-resident carrying passengers, livestock or mail shipped at a port in India. Ship is allowed to leave the port only if tax has been paid. Makes sense. In 172, don't have an agent or permanent, nothing in India. If you have a person in India, then I will catch him next year. No problem. Don't worry. You don't have anything. You just come here, pay tax and then go. No problem. I will leave you only till you pay the tax. So there are in these ports 24/7 income tax counters are there. Income tax department, the offices are there. So you have to pay tax, take the clearance, and only then you will be allowed to exit the Indian waters. Otherwise, you will be blocked there. Makes sense. Then second one is Vijay Mallya, art of leaving. Correct? Not art of living, art of leaving. So that fellow, yes, the assessing officer knows that this fellow will escape for sure and definitely will not come back. Now, in fact, Vijay Mallya had a no-fly notice, everything, still he escaped. Obviously, through corruption, he escaped. But same thing this guy wanted to do, Naresh Goyal, Jet Airways. He also tried escaping, but then he was caught. So, if I feel that you are leaving India during an assessment year or shortly after its expiry, I know that you are leaving India, then immediately, like this year only you are leaving, I will not wait for next year. Immediately this year only you will have to pay the tax. That is in a rare case, 174. Then assessment of AOP, BOI or artificial person form for a particular event only. We will say, we will celebrate New Year this year. For that, I will create an AOP, New Year party. We will call 3-4 celebrities. That's it. After that, our association ends. We'll make nice money and divide the profits and exit. It's not going to be every year, 1 year. So let's say December 31st, we will have a party and we come to know that so many people, we sell passes of 500 rupees each and we call some good celebrities. Even after paying out all these things, we still have left with 4 lakh rupees. No, ideally the assessment will happen next year. But the thing is, intention only is not there to continue. It is only an association only for one purpose. December 31st party. That is over. So that can be assessed in that year only. If it is likely to be dissolved in the next year, or rather, I would say, if it is likely to be dissolved in the assessment year, then the previous year only have to pay the tax. Similarly, if there are any people who are likely to transfer their assets somewhere else, and I come to know, and next year I know that I cannot recover any money from you, this year only I can deduct tax. These are all special cases. So where if it appears to the assessing officer that a person is likely to charge, sell, transfer, dispose of, part with any of the assets to avoid payment of any tax liability, then the total income of such person shall be chargeable to tax. Which year? In the same year. Then last one is another way of looking at it. You had some business during COVID. You had some business during COVID. You were giving this sanitizer stands you had created. One person created, after that so many people started creating the same thing. Sanitizer stands. And that time you had made a lot of money. Some 12 lakhs you had made, of which 2 lakhs still pending till today. Nobody, that fellow has not paid. And today I have discontinued the business. Nobody uses sanitizer stands anymore. Nobody uses sanitizer anymore. Very few people. Sanitizer stands gone. You discontinued it. But you had made one order, 2 lakhs that fellow had supposed to pay, not paid. It's been 5 years now. Suddenly that fellow came and said, sir, sorry, I know I had to pay you this money. I did not pay because I had so many issues, so many problems, but now I have a different conscience. Please accept this money. When I give that money to me, like you give the money to me. This year, am I doing that business anymore? No. But is it still taxable? Yes. Why? Because I've received the money. It's something like bad debts recovery. Bad debts recovery should be taxable in the year in which it is received. If you see, where any business or profession is discontinued in any year, any income received after the discontinuance shall be deemed to be the income of the recipient from such discontinued business or profession and charged to tax accordingly in the year of receipt. So I need to take that, no choice. Charge of tax, all that we did. Good. So let's take a short break, 10-15 minutes, because we've been doing it since for 1.5 hours or something. Good. Let's take a 15-minute breather and then we'll get back, guys. Online people, are you okay with it? We'll have to take constant small breaks because it'll aid to the thing. And when we start early, then no problem. Then we'll take a short break in between. Yes. Let's take a break and come back. It's 15 minutes.